Hi, this is Dovid Orlofsky, and welcome to the Parshat in 5, where in 5 minutes we try to give you a little insight into the Parsha. Parshas Pinchas. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen. That's not the way we usually do yichus. We do yichus back one generation unless there is an overriding consideration why. Like we saw by Korach, it goes all the way back until Yaakov, because Yaakov davened that he shouldn't be included in Korach. But otherwise, we just give the person and their father. That's the normal way of doing yichus. Why are we going back to Aaron? And so the Chazal say, because just like Aaron was an Ohev Shalom and a Rodev Shalom, Pinchas was an Ohev Shalom and a Rodev Shalom. What does that mean? As Rashi explains, because the Jewish people were making fun of Pinchas and says, you took a spear and killed a Nasi and the Jewish people? According to one view in the Gemara, he was in fact Shaul ben Cananis, one of the people who went down to Mitzrayim. So that means he was 250 years old, and this kid Pinchas takes a spear and kills him in front of everybody? Yikes. You know, how could you do something that cruel? How could you do something that cruel? It must be because your grandfather Yisro, who served Avodah Zarah, that cruelty has come down into you and has become part of who you are. And therefore, the Torah is meyaches him to his other grandfather, Aaron, to tell you that just like Aaron is an Ohev Shalom and a Rodev Shalom, so too Pinchas was an Ohev Shalom and a Rodev Shalom. Which means that you can sometimes look at something that appears to be an act of cruelty and understand that it's really an act of mercy. And that's why the Chazal say, someone who is merciful to the cruel will end up being cruel to the merciful. Because it's misplaced, pity. And that's why Shaul couldn't bring himself to kill Agag, the king of Amalek. And he stuck around long enough to be able to have children. And from that came Haman, who almost destroyed the entire Jewish people, because Shaul wasn't prepared to do what he was going to do. And so the whole world is screaming at Israel, how dare you go and attack Gaza, where innocent civilians are going to get killed just because you want to stop terrorists from coming and killing your people. You're not protesting that Hamas should release hostages. You're not protesting that Hamas should stop killing Jews. You're only protesting that the Jews are fighting back. There was a Magefa that was destroying Klal Yisrael. 24,000 people died in that Magefa, in that plague. And had it not been stopped, it would have wiped out the entire Jewish people. And Pinchas killed Zimri in order to save the Jewish people. If there's somebody on a roof firing into a schoolyard of children and the only way to stop him is to shoot him, that's not an act of cruelty. It's an act of mercy. And so that's why he's described as a kanoi. A kanoi is someone who is jealous for God's honor and wants to save HaKadosh Baruch Hu from this kind of disgrace. And there are people who fight on behalf of Gedolei Torah, and those who represent Torah and Talmidei Chachamim and Bnei Torah, not because they want to fight, but because they're trying to preserve the kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and of Torah. And Mirza Hashem, every one of us should find ourselves in a position where we, when we're called upon to defend the honor of Torah, rise to the occasion. Shabbos.